feel like making more things right now for no reason, but I think this is actually really cool how they made a structure. Anyway, so I was thinking, how do you talk to yourself, right? And why is that okay? Because I don't think you're crazy. Why? Because you live with yourself whole life, right? So your whole life in this human existence with yourself, okay? You don't get out of yourself. You're in this body, you're with yourself. So I think talking to yourself is normal, because if you have kids and you don't talk to them, I don't think they will like you very much. So I think talking to yourself is a skill also. It's actually kind of productive to develop. But often I find that people look at it like crazy. But why is that crazy, right? It's important to know who you are, because if the world is a mirror and everyone is a reflection of you, how do you even know who you are if you don't talk to yourself? If you don't take the time to know yourself, how do you know who's you? I learned my lesson of not slipping on the ice. All right, because I already did that once, so now I'm not doing that again. Yeah, so I don't think that's something anyone should ever be ashamed of. We just don't do it in public. But isn't thinking a version of talking to yourself? Every time you think, it's like an internal dialogue, right? Because you think something, you observe, right? Let's just say I'm observing this. I think it's really cool how I can just go up here because I just crossed the bridge. And I'm observing it, right? And then I'm talking to myself in my head because I am thinking about it, right? I am thinking, okay, this is what I am doing, this is what happened, and then the meaning I give it, right? Because I'm taking the stairs, even though I could totally not take the stairs. So I could complain about the stairs or the ice. I could fall on the ice again, hope not. Or I could say, you know what, it's morning, it's making my blood circulate because I actually like to be active. So I think every time we think something, it's literally talking to ourselves. The only difference is that when you do it out loud, you're talking out loud so others can hear you, right? But I think maybe it's just not something people do, and I don't necessarily go outside in public doing it. Well, that's not really true, because now that they have the masks, right? You can just mumble to yourself. No one knows. No one knows what you're doing behind a mask, right? That's kind of evil, but it's true. I mean, I think at least for me, like I find it, like I think this is kind of, well, talking to myself, I guess, to a camera. Well, this is a phone, but talking to myself in a way, because I am talking here, right? And I hope that whoever gets to see it is on the other end of receiving it, right? But at the end of the day, if someone is looking at me right now, there is no one here. But if someone were looking at me right now, right, it would look like I'm talking to myself, because there is no one else physically present here. But just because they're physically not present here does not mean that I am not talking to someone, right? Because I can send it to someone, and my talking to myself this way too, it helps me process. So every time I talk, or even teach, not even teach, but every time I'm just talking, I feel like it helps me process too. To myself, even if I'm talking to myself, because I feel like I've been spending a lot of the time by myself, with myself, because I kind of like first ran away from people, then my first phone broke, I lost all the contacts, and then second phone broke, so then I threw that one away, so then I had no contacts, and then my laptop charger broke, so then I couldn't charge my laptop and contact anyone. So basically I was kind of stuck in that situation where I was just with myself, and everyone that I knew from the past was no longer in my present, right? So imagine everyone that you know, every single person in your life, you're no longer able to contact them, right? So then, I mean, this is what you do. I go to a park. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. So I go to a park, and then I just think about life. And I think maybe part of why people were no longer able to be in my life is that I could be more comfortable being by myself, right? Because very long time, I think we're not comfortable to be with ourselves. We're not comfortable to be by yourself. We want to be with someone. We want to be in a relationship with someone because we're not comfortable with ourselves, right? But what does that mean? What does it mean to not be comfortable with yourself, right? I think it means that you literally don't talk to yourself enough, because if you're not comfortable with yourself, that means you're not comfortable like by yourself or with yourself, I think it's essentially the same meaning, because with yourself would mean that you are in your body. It means different aspects of you are in coherence with each other, and they act and they communicate in harmony with each other, right? So then that would mean that the part of you, maybe that you have different parts. We all have different parts, right? Sometimes you need to be serious, sometimes you need to be silly, sometimes you need to slip on ice, and you don't need to slip on ice, don't slip on ice. But yeah, so we all have different parts, but if different parts of you are not comfortable with each other, you don't accept them, right? Maybe part of you believes in something that no one around you is okay with, right? You reject that part because you want to be accepted, and that's normal, right? So if you believe something and then everyone else around you disagrees, it's like, well, I don't know what to do, because I don't agree with them, but they're my friends, and then they're like this. Do I really like this? Well, I don't know. Do you like this, right? How do you know what you like? And I think that's why talking to yourself is important, because when you talk to yourself or think, meditation can be a form too, but it's just really just being with yourself, right? That can really be beneficial. And I found I was addicted to noise for a very long time, actually, because I could not be in silence with myself. I'd feel like, oh my God, I need headphones, I need to do this, I need to do that, because every time I was in silence, it's like my brain just kind of threw everything at me. And it was like, well, I couldn't sleep. I would like stay up all night. My brain would just not stop, literally not stop. I actually took Vyvanse for that. Like, it helped me sleep. It's like backwards, that stuff is not supposed to make you sleep. Like, I would take that and go to bed. People take that and they go party. So, but I think the most important thing when it comes to being with yourself is just letting the parts of you speak. You have different parts in yourself. If you let them speak, right, and accept them how they are, automatically you're healing them and you're healing yourself. And I think would in a way reflect outwardly as well, right? Because after I feel like I was, well, I don't want to say detached from society, but that's basically what happened. But then I did that by choice in a way, because I know my soul chose this, and I would actually choose the same thing consciously too for the lessons I learned. But it freed me to be whatever I wanted to be and not be dependent on anyone else's opinion or anyone else's anything, really. You just kind of find your own. You find what you like, you find what you don't like, you find out which step you're taking first, because I almost fell again. And then, well, okay. Oh, this is actually kind of fun. Okay, sliding type. Alright, not on camera. But then again, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Yeah, so this is life. What is life? I don't know anything that I'm doing. I'm officially just sliding on ice because I can, and yeah, this is life. This will make me fall. This is life. You don't know what you're doing. The whole point is just live, have fun, watch your next step, and don't die, because I think I will officially. Okay, no. I'm okay. Yeah, but I think there's actually, life is kind of meaningless. We give it meaning, right? Everything that happens, you give it meaning. If someone does something to you, someone leaves you, right? Let's just say I went by myself a lot. I can make that to mean, oh my God, like I'm a victim. But then I could say, no, I'm a winner, because I learned to be on my own. So I think everything that happens, and I'm thankful to the people who did what they did, and I'm thankful for the fact that I broke things by accident and everything, because it made me learn and grow and become myself. So I know that in a way it's very painful to go through that, but I think the life is meaningless in the sense that we can always change the meaning we give things, right? We can always look at things from a different side, because everything happens for a reason. If there was no reason for it to happen, it wouldn't happen. So if there is a reason, I think that there's always a positive and a negative, because we need the polarities, right? So if we need the polarities, you can only have the negative with the positive. So by definition of polarity, you cannot have a negative experience without it having a positive aspect of it somewhere there. So whatever that experience is, I hope that you look for it. And if you do look for it, I'm sure you'll find it. Now I'll go back to actually sliding. This is kind of fun.